All right. Woo! We are live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Hero's Journey with artist Fernando Del Rosario here at Forcefest. Fernando, give us a little raise the roof.
What?
Thank you, everyone, for joining in on this panel. And we want to remind everyone that Forcefest is raising money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And your donation will go directly right into all the wishes that these kids have been compiling. And now Make-A-Wish is putting this money aside. So when the lockdowns stop happening, they'll have enough money to send these kids to wherever they want. These kids' wishes are piling up, and whatever you can do to put some money into the foundation, into the links, so much the better. You can always go up there to the V coin, to the Get Vocal V coin. You'll see the little blue diamond with a blue V in it. If you donate there, then Get Vocal, they will match 33% of all of the donations made there.
Yeah. And as you see, shout out to Bryn, who just donated.
Oh, look at that.
Woo!
Very, very good. So thank you to Get Vocal for doing that. Thank you for everyone for pitching in. We've made a lot of money for Make-A-Wish and for these kids, and we couldn't be happier. So thank you.
Over $2,000 now. It's like really amazing. Yeah, we're so excited. And our goal is 3,000. So anything you guys can pitch in is just amazing. All right. Well, we are here, and with us is Fernando Del Rosario, and he is an amazing artist who has had a long career in advertising, and also he's been an art director on many ad campaigns, including Taco Bell's Phantom Menace 99 promotion. Now, I met Fernando as my professor at the Art Institute of California while getting my second bachelor's degree in advertising, and he was also a guest on our episode 298 of Skywalking Through Neverland, where we really talk about his art, because not only is he in advertising, but he's an artist, and he's been branching out in so many different ways. Like, it's very exciting. And so we talked about his artwork there, but here we're going to get into this ad campaign for Taco Bell Phantom Menace. We are so excited. All right.
So, hey, Fernando.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Richard, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor.
Oh, you're so welcome. And you know what, before we continue, I just want to get this out of the way. I still owe you an art assignment from 2008. So does this panel count?
You know, I was wondering if that was ever going to come up.
Yeah, Fernando, all you gotta do is acknowledge this, and then she can graduate.
Right. Okay. I can do that. I'll mark that on the roster.
All right, that's out of the way. Good.
Okay. Well, I feel better about myself now. All right.
That's all she's been talking about for 12 years. When can I graduate? It's all up to Fernando. Let's do Forcefest to have Fernando on so we can graduate.
I see the motive in this interview now. I get it.
Raise money for Make-A-Wish, raise positivity for Star Wars fandom, and so Sarah can graduate. Now the truth comes out.
That's right. Got it.
All right. Well, now it's time to pick your brain. I'm so excited. You got to work on the Taco Bell campaign, and we're excited to hear about that. So just how hard did you work to just get on the ad team that's working on this campaign? Can you share a little stories leading up to that?
Sure. Absolutely. First of all, you know, just to be able to share this story, the journey, the path to this is really, really awesome and exciting for me. And just because, you know, it's one of those things that's always been living in my head, right? As all of us, we've been living in our head, and our journey and our narrative has always been in the head. And now to have this opportunity and this platform to share that is really, really incredible. So thank you for that. And yeah, so, you know, this specific part of my journey working on the Taco Bell Episode 1, Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace campaign, I want to say, you know, that was probably like 20 years in the making. And I kid you not, you know, because it was one of those things that, you know, I was born in the Philippines, you know, grew up in the Philippines, and you know, Star Wars was one of those movies that just like everyone else, just really made an impact in my life, you know, obviously. And it just showed me a whole level of creativity, imagination, storytelling, the narrative, the hero's journey, and man, as a kid, and again, I think this is the platform, this is the group of people to really talk about with this, that just really resonated with me, as it resonated with all of us. And so, coming to America, working in the advertising world in America was not even a thought, for me as a kid. And so as I traversed through my life, being a kid in the Philippines, then having the opportunity to come out here with pretty much very little to nothing. My mother took my siblings and I, there was 4 of us by herself out here, kind of really just give us this new life, this opportunity to come out here and live in America. And so from there, I had the opportunity to go to art school and then eventually land my first job in advertising and marketing. But then, and that was back in Michigan. And because we went from the Philippines to Michigan, because, Philippines and Michigan are kind of the same, right?
Yeah.
There's lakes. I don't know.
So
I don't know geography. You could be right.
Well, it's one of those things that after college and after working in advertising for about a couple of years now after graduation, I woke up one January in the middle of winter and I thought to myself, there's got to be more to this than Michigan, right? And that right there kind of spawned off a whole new set of adventures that led me here to California. And I was one of the first art directors that was transplanted from somewhere else outside of California into California to build the Taco Bell team, the Taco Bell creative team. And so I remember just kind of having, getting that job offer and packing up my car, putting my motorcycle in there, putting my dog in there and my clothes and driving across the country and into this office space that I had zero clue in and really kind of hit the ground running working on Taco Bell. Well, what's neat about that is that in the midst of that first year, I started to hear about an inkling about Taco Bell doing this tie-in partnership with this little movie called Star Wars. And I'm like, bing, right? And I fought tooth and nail to work on that account, and I, every opportunity I would tell my creative director how much of a big fan nerd I am and how much I grew up with it and how much I know everything and anything about it. And, waiting for these prequels was something that I dreamt about. And then all of a sudden now episode 1 is here literally in my fingertips. And it was one of those things that my creative director, I think I finally just wore him out and said, okay, you know what, Fernando? Yeah, okay, well, you obviously know this storyline better than anybody in the office. You obviously, this is something that you've lived for, I was in my early 20s. And I think one of the first time that was really, when it started to become real to me was when my creative director said, okay, well, we need to brief the team. And so Lucasfilms is going to brief you guys at the ranch.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
This just gets better and
Did
better.
your mind just like explode?
Yeah, I was like, excuse me? Like Skywalker Ranch in Northern California? And yeah, so they flew me and a couple of other teammates up there. And I was just in seventh heaven. I've only heard about it. Of course, only seen pictures of it. And it was just one of those moments where every time we had the meeting at the main house, and right upstairs is George Lucas's office. And every chance I can, where I have to go to the bathroom or I have to, go get water or, you know, I have to get fresh air. I'm always like this by around the corner. So what's around there? What's around there?
Boy, Fernando's got to go to the bathroom a lot.
Yeah.
Right. What's wrong with that guy?
Every time he's gone, like it feels like the toilet paper's gone from there. What had happened?
And artwork is missing.
Right.
That's what I would do. Okay.
Well, you know, and you know, the funny part about that too is that this was pre iPhone, pre having phone, you know, cameras on our phones. So it's not like I was selfieing myself all over, you know, the ranch. You know, I was literally taking mental pictures of around me, what's around me, and I thought that couldn't get any better than that. But then they sent to me two other times.
Wow.
So I'll talk about more about how that happened in a minute. So I was able to work on that account.
So when you were at these meetings, how much did they tell you about the story? How much did they tell you about what was going on? Because I know George likes to keep everything until the last possible second.
Yes.
So how many designs did they show you?
Well, you know, with something like that, at this point, you know, filming is done. They're in the midst of final production because by this time, you know, promotion of the movie is really have fully ramped up. I think at this point they've only probably released the first teaser trailer.
Okay.
So there are certain things that was already locked in, and so I was kind of designing almost a little bit of a vacuum. You know, a little bit like I knew what was this the basic storyline, but certainly some of the major secrets were still very much a secret. But as a nerd, right, I dove into it. And so I understood a little bit more of the narrative than your average person. And so that's why I was able to kind of design it with a little bit more intention and a little bit more heart because I knew what was going on, even though it wasn't apparent to a lot of people. So. Yeah.
Nice.
So what did you find out anything that you wished you hadn't found out? Like,
oh, that's a good question.
Qui-Gon's Noble Land, what?
So okay, that's so funny. I love that question. It's so great. So the second time I was sent up there, I had designed a poster, which and I'm sure we'll show in a minute. And we need to go into production. You know, we need to scan the high res images and kind of do the final compositions of the poster. And so I talked to my creative director again. I say, hey, listen, you know what? I'm sure there are more images available to us than what Lucas has just released, you know, because they released certain batches and I was using my Jedi mind trick with my creative director. And I said, I'm sure there are more images in there that we have access to that they just haven't released to all the companies. And then I said, wouldn't it be great if we as Taco Bell had some of these images that not everybody has? And so he's like, that's a great idea, Fernando. And I go, yeah, it's a great idea. You know? And so he sent me up there with a caveat of I was going to talk to the people who would take the still shots of the movie, and I would select key images to use. And so it was just me for the second time I was sent up there. And I went downstairs, kind of like in the vault area, and you know, we're talking nerd with everybody else. There's I think 3 people in charge of it, and it brought me into this library with all these binders around this library, and they put probably about a dozen black thick binders with just pictures of the whole movie.
Whoa!
Right? And yeah, and there was Post-it notes on the ones that I could not take. And so I said, okay, you know, no problem. And again, this is way before iPhone, so it sounded like, you know, they fully trusted me, and I think, you know, I think they understood that I was a fanboy, and I wouldn't ruin it for anyone else. So they left me in there, and I was looking through the binders and kind of making notes of the ones that I would like to send to us. But sure enough, I would like look underneath the Post-it notes, like, what's under? Oh, really? Qui-Gon, really?
Oh no!
Yeah.
Whoops! Yeah, you couldn't help yourself, right?
No.
Amidala and Padme are the same person?
What?
So I do have a question for you, because I know, like, someone like Richard, you like have very finite memories of the Taco Bell ad campaign.
Yeah.
But what exactly was it? Like, what was the campaign for Taco Bell?
Well,
Phantom Menace.
I spent so much time in the summer of 1999 going to Taco Bell. As we're talking about Taco Bell, I can still smell those triple burritos. I kid you not. Those memory senses are kicking in. So this is the same corporation owned Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Pizza Hut. So each one had their one. Taco Bell was the Tatooine themed.
Oh, okay.
Coruscant, I believe, was Pizza Hut. And maybe, yeah.
So each of those were a different land.
Kentucky Fried Chicken was Naboo.
Okay.
Each one had its own land, which I thought was a brilliant marketing scheme.
Mm-hmm.
You have a great memory there, Richard. That's awesome.
It's right there. And when I say scheme, it's because they forced people like me to go visit each one of those restaurants and collect every single one of these toys. And I love these toys. These are so much better than what Hasbro put out. The sculpts were phenomenal. The likenesses were great, and some of the toys were functional. Jar Jar would spit water out of his mouth.
Yep.
They had little story cubes.
Yeah.
So
it certainly the campaign was incredible. All across the board, from advertising, the television spots with back in the day that was with the little dog, the little Chihuahua dog, and so there you go. And they brought back Colonel Sanders, and the Pizza Hut girl who's the delivery girl. So you can see that in the bottom left there is kind of like an imagery of what the company was called Tricon, which was the three different entities. But what's neat about that campaign was that when I was working on the Taco Bell side of it, the client for Taco Bell, I mean, she liked me, and part of I think what she liked me that she saw the real passion that I had for the brand, and not just necessarily for Star Wars, but the brand for Taco Bell. I mean, I was a true fan of Taco Bell, and so I treated those two brands really carefully. And so when I was designing the 4 posters that you guys see there now in the top, I knew that this was going to be a Taco Bell Star Wars poster. And I knew that Taco Bell our land was Tatooine. And so every image that you see here is based on a Tatooine scene,
Yeah.
And so from the very beginning with Sebulba and all the way to the very end where you see the battle between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul, all that took place in Tatooine.
Wow.
And so things like that, where there was intention to the design, intention to the storyline, the clients, both from Taco Bell side and also from Lucasfilm side, really appreciated that. They totally understood that I was thinking about these kind of things. And what's neat about that, and a little side story on that, is that I think Tricon as a whole kind of saw what we were doing with Taco Bell and kind of gave us a little bit more of a leg up in regards to the other two, on top of the other two brands, Pizza Hut and KFC. Now, I don't know if that's actually official, if that was just kind of hearsay for us, but it was really neat to be able to kind of use those narratives that we would put in place and really put it into a design.
Okay.
With intention.
Right. So I love this theming. It's so cool. Now, your particular part in this, did you just work on the posters as opposed to the toys?
Correct. So so the toys were something that is handled by a completely different company.
Okay.
Their job was to kind of create actual toys. They're basically a toy company to fit within the storyline or the campaign that we're running. My job, I was with the ad agency at the time called Wonderman Cato Johnson, which is the promotional side of the industry. Our job was to create everything inside the store. So the experience, not even as soon as you walk in, literally as you're driving up to the store, from the window decal that you see, those curvature in the bottom right kind of section, those are those are window decals that would go on the windows of the restaurants. And all the way from as you walk into the store, you see the floor decals, the ceiling danglers, and the poster designs was an item that people can purchase to bring home that experience. And so I'll show you guys this. Like I brought up a counter card that I'd love to show you.
Okay,
guys.
Yeah,
as you're
please
bringing
do.
that up, let's answer this question from Alan Sanborn in the chat. He asks, "Were you involved with the other two as well, meaning Kentucky Fried Chicken and Pizza Hut?"
You know, that the answer is no, but not without trying, Alan. I mean, I was determined. I was determined to really work on the brand as much as possible. And you know, I was working for the ad agency that handled only Taco Bell, but you know, when I started to hear that the Taco Bell direction was being kind of elevated, like, or being regarded as like, you know, kind of a really great quality campaign, and the two properties, KFC and Pizza Hut, was like supposed to kind of almost follow suit. I was like, ooh, I wonder if that's an opportunity for me to work on, you know, KFC with Naboo and Pizza Hut at Coruscant, but that never happened, and maybe it might still.
Okay.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, your domain really was the experiences, like you were saying, the posters, the wall decal, not so much the toys and the cup toppers, but just the whole Star Wars feel, just the whole
Yes.
the tie-ins, the cross promotions.
Right. Well, as far as the toppers were concerned, those were already available, and so we used, you know, we were promoting those too. So the same thing. Every store had a set of toppers that they were only, you can only get, you know, I think you can only get Anakin and Taco Bell. You can only get Watto on Taco Bell.
Yeah, all those themes were only available at that place. Like Taco Bell just had the Tatooine themed.
So like Amidala would be Naboo.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and you couldn't get Boss Nass at Taco Bell.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Alan got them all in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So each of us had responsibility to promote that, you know, so we designed window decals, promotion items to promote those cups.
Did you design the big banner that went across the Taco Bell, the restaurant? It was like 30 feet long.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say I almost obtained one of those legally, when I literally scaled a Taco Bell with a box cutter. Because I asked the woman in the Taco Bell, hey, the campaign is over. Can I'm a collector. Can I have that, or are they going to throw it away? She says, yeah, I can have it. Yeah. So I climbed up and I cut everything, all the zip ties that held it in place. I carefully climbed down with it over my shoulder, all rolled up. When I got down, there was a security guard standing there. I said, hey, how's it going? He said, what are you doing? I said, the woman over there said I could have this since the campaign is over. And he said, no, she didn't understand you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's if you take that, then that's going to come out of our end because we get to pay for all this stuff. And I think that's what they tell people so they don't take stuff.
Right.
So I had to give it back.
Oh.
Well, Richard, I have good news for you, man. So as the creative of this campaign, you know, I have samples of some of these promotional items.
Let it loose. Let it loose.
I have that giant banner you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
I have window decals still rolled up, unused. You know, I'll show you guys. I'll talk about this. I have things like this, you know, still available, you know, here with me. And
wow.
So I was able to pull some of that out. So
Fernando, if you could put your home address in the chat bar and just let me know what time you go to bed at night.
Right?
It's just a question we ask of everybody.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, you teased that you have some stuff there, so it's show and tell time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like as we were talking about, you know, just the POP and you know, again,
what is the POP?
So POP stands for point of purchase. And these are the posters, the floor decals, the window decals, the ceiling danglers, and this was a counter card.
Ooh.
So I'll set back here a little bit. So this is a counter card that would stand on the counter of Taco Bell to promote the poster. And so the way we have designed these is that, or the way I designed them with the team, was each poster is going to be sold like a different week, right? To kind of, again, it's marketing, right? It's advertising. It gets you to come back to the store. And so, such a nerd that I am, and again, very intentional with my design. I wanted to design a framework that slide over to which poster was available for that week.
Nice.
So we would literally slide that frame, and the frame is designed to look like a bunch of
lightsabers.
Oh, cool.
lightsabers.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So this was a really
that's an awesome display.
fun thing to do.
And that's in like such good condition.
Because it was still in the box.
Did you unbox it for us?
Yeah.
Wow.
Normally I'm against unboxing, but hey, that's awesome.
That's so cool.
I figured it'd be really fun to share. And that's what I mean. It's like I feel like I had so much stuff that I wanted to just share with everyone here. And I'm so excited for this. So yeah, so things like that, these were the actual posters, printed posters that was created. So this was the first week, and then the second week was Qui-Gon.
Wow.
And then they, as you guys saw on the image, they connected, and so week 3 was Watto.
Yeah.
And as again, very, very intentional. I wanted to have the last week to be the
Darth Maul and Jabba.
The really cool one, yeah. Wow.
But what's neat about these is that as the designer for these materials, I was able to go to the press check to ensure that the color was right, the images was perfect. And again, I was using my Jedi mind trick. I need to go to the press check. And so I was able to go to the press check, and the press team was like, so how much do you want for your collection? And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, well, we'll send you some samples. I'm like, as many as you can send.
Yeah, I get a team of about 15,000 people.
Yeah, right? Yeah. The answer is always yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So what was neat about that is that they send me a nice stack of unrolled, so they're all flattened, no crease, so almost like in pristine condition. That have these posters. So it's been really, really
wow. Okay, now this is like an incredible story, but I do have something now. On our last episode of Skywalking Through Neverland 298, you teased that you had some concept art, because of course when designing anything, ad campaign, t-shirt design, whatever, you always design a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't work until you reach the final. So you had teased that you have some concept art. Can you share that with us now?
Absolutely. So yeah, the what we've been looking at were the final pieces, and leading up to that, like I said, I was kind of designing a little bit in a vacuum, and I knew that there were key characters that we really wanted to showcase. But I also realized that the Star Wars narrative, the Star Wars story, is just, there's history there with the ones that we grew up with, with episode 4, 5, and 6. And so I wanted to, the one concept was I wanted to kind of pay homage to that. So do we have
yes, so it's the PDF, correct? That's 2 pages? Okay.
Correct.
Yep, I will share that now.
Yeah, so this first one here, I wanted to really just show, just the paying homage to the first cast of Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, C-3PO, and these, these characters were obviously from the first original three, and they were the ones that would kind of carry over into these prequel, at least from this episode 1. And so I wanted to kind of like create these layouts where it paid homage to that. And so that was, again, really well received. But the concept, or the conversation really was about, well, this is great, but we really wanted to focus on episode 1. From a collector standpoint, from people that knows the story, this really was that was meaningful to them. But really, from a promotion standpoint, we're there to promote episode 1. And so we kind of moved on from that, and then so the next one, there was again, this was me starting to get images of what was available to us, that was provided to us by Skywalker, Lucasfilms, and so these images, if you see them, they're very familiar, because everybody who was doing promotions for episode 1 had access to these. These were the typical
publicity photos.
Yeah. And so these were like the inspiration of, like, I thought to myself, I bet you there's more that we can dig a little, if we dug a little bit deeper. And so these were very obviously character focused, but they kind of was on their own. They're by themselves. They weren't really, they didn't really exude collection. And so the final design, which was printed, which was the horizontal connecting of the pieces, really was the one that took the cake, because one, it really showed images that we really haven't seen before. Two, the collectability behind it which was kind of connecting to each other. And three, it's a horizontal design, which you don't see very often.
Yeah.
And plus, it made you buy all 4 of them to complete the collection.
Exactly.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
I mean, Anakin's arm. I mean, I have to have the rest of Anakin's arm, so I got to get this poster. Right? All right, and then there's Shmi. Well, I have to have her head. So that's amazing. Yeah. But I do have to call out, like, these are really beautiful, and I love what you did with, like, just even these, like, connecting pieces. Like, this looks like C-3PO. Right here you have the lightsaber. Yeah. And then, like, Amidala especially. Look at that. Look at how fun that is. It's like Naboo.
I mean, again, as I mentioned, the care that I really wanted to put into these designs, I mean, was literally 20 years in the making. 20 years of just enjoying and loving this brand, this story, and having this opportunity to put all of those thoughts and love for such a storyline into what it is that I do. I mean, I was getting paid to do this. This was my job.
Yeah.
Right? Was really, really special to me, and I took care of it, and I think people really appreciated it, and it really kind of resonated with a lot of people.
Now, was this your very first concept for these posters? What we're looking at right now?
Yeah.
You know what? You, in my opinion, you hit a home run first time out. I would have gone crazy over these posters because it connects the original trilogy with the upcoming sequel trilogy. And I'm so surprised that Lucasfilm didn't go this way, because it would have connected these special editions, what had just come out 2 years ago, and they were just now appearing on DVD and videotape, and would have connected that for marketability. I'm surprised they didn't go this direction.
Well, I have a little. Well, this is just for me, and you're absolutely right. This didn't move forward. This was not approved internally with Taco Bell, and I'm trying to think if it made it to. Yeah, I think it did make it to Lucasfilms. But when in the process of designing these, we had to print them out full size for presentation sakes, right? Like, so we this was back in the day, again, 1999, where projection or PowerPoint or really beautiful quality imagery on a screen really didn't exist. So we would print these and have them mounted, and these are actual posters that we would present to the clients. Guess who has those?
If
you
you're
have
out in our
them?
living room right now with these, I'm gonna faint.
I have them, and I have them stored securely.
Wow.
Where?
I can't tell you. I'm gonna have to wipe your mind with my Jedi mind trick, Richard. If I tell you.
Oh my goodness. The next time we meet up, you gotta show me these, and I promise to keep my hands off of them. These are just beautiful.
They are.
It has the transmission graphic
Holograph, yeah.
overlays.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, it kind of, I mean, that's why that first teaser poster for Phantom Menace was so cool, because you had, you know, the boy, but then you had the shadow of Darth Vader, and
Yeah,
that's
that
kind of what
connected
that,
everything.
yeah, it spoke to you. Like, what an amazing poster. It
Yeah,
said
and
so much.
whoever was on that marketing department had the right idea.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But you know what you came up with at the end was just as good. We love those.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, was there ever
Yeah.
a rivalry between Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and Kentucky Fried Chicken? Who's got the best campaign?
Not that I was aware of, but because I think, part of it was, the team and I, and we were just focused, and I think, I was working, again, I was in my 20s, and I think the whole team was still, we were young, we were hungry, and we loved working with each other, and we spent a lot of time together. And I think it's one of those things. Oh, let me just plug myself up here before I lose any batteries. Okay. I think what it was is that it allowed us to just really focus on the job at hand. And, the client loved what we were doing. We loved spending time together. And so I think through that kind of level of love for the brand and love for the project, we didn't care what anybody else was thinking, we didn't care. I mean, it was neat to kind of see what Pizza Hut was doing. It was neat to kind of see what KFC was doing, but we were so focused on our objective, our Tatooine, our project, and that we just had a great time.
So you didn't make any trips over to Kentucky Fried Chicken with some chimichangas just to drop them off and kind of peek around the corner the way we know that you do?
I have to admit, I'm a Pizza Hut fan a little bit, so I've visited Pizza Hut here and there, and then going, I wonder what kind of.
So I'm gonna order a large Diet Coke.
Yeah, exactly. So how long does it take to create a campaign like this? Does it take months, years?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Months, definitely months. Lots of meetings, especially with an incredible property like Star Wars. There's lots of layers, and it's not. I'm not even talking about internally between Taco Bell and the agency I was with, Wonderman Cato Johnson, but then just to kind of conversing with them as far as planning things out. We had a game. We had I had some samples here. It was a 2-part promo. So the second part that we've been talking about, that was part 2. First part was, you guys remember?
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Wow. Tell us about these.
So these were the first part of the promotion, and they were these collector pogs that you would get with your purchase of your Taco Bell food, and then you had a kind of a game board that you would collect, and then you would put these pogs in. Sorry, I'm trying to navigate my arms and talk at the same time. You would collect these little pogs, and the more you collect, the more that you're eligible to win certain prizes, certain food for free. And so these were actually designed by our Chicago team, and so this was first part of the promotion. And so this was I can't think specifically, but I imagine like maybe a month and a half worth of a program. And then from there, it rolled into the poster program. So, with something like this, I want to say it's probably a good couple of months worth of a program itself. then leading up to that, there's probably a good another 2-3 months worth of just preparing, concepting, meetings, production, and then from there implementation. Once everything is printed, now we have to go and make sure that all the stores have it up right. Make sure there's not a crazy person walking up there to the rooftop cutting off
Who was
these
gonna
banners.
do something like that? I don't know, but you know what? Let me know where you store these, and let me know where you keep your box cutter. Once again, it's a question we ask of everybody.
Right. Right. So it's certainly an extensive process, and takes time, and the human resource of people involved in it is just it's amazing. I mean, you're just talking to me, one designer of a whole team of designers, and so that also it was so important that we all got along, and we were all we were like a little family, that we just worked hard and we had fun together.
So now when that woman told me, or that security guard told me that if I had taken that, not that kids taking things that don't belong to you is bad, but does Lucasfilm still take back some of their displays, or do they sometimes they'll throw them out? But I'm always told that we got to send these back, and I have a feeling that they tell you this just so you'll stop asking for things.
I don't know the truth of the answer to that, but I do know that I've never heard of anybody of the stores shipping things back.
I knew it.
Because when for example, these counter cards or these decals or those banners, I mean, there's, as they're cumbersome, right? It's not easy. So when when they ship to the stores, I mean, they're packed tight into these boxes. As soon as you unroll them, no way in hell you'll be able to put it back in. It's like tents, like for camping. Like you're never able to put the tent back into the bag.
The blow up lawn ornaments too.
Yeah.
Yes. So shipping these things back I can imagine it would be very, very difficult and very not cost effective. So yeah, I would presume people would just say, no, we ship them back to get them off their back, or they've already said my cousin's going to get it.
I want to make sure, just so if they say, "Would you hear that?" I can say Fernando Del Rosario. He told me that you guys do not ship them back, so I know you're lying. So give me that Phantom Menace banner, would you?
Exactly.
Now, for anyone who wants to see the whole collection of all these on our skywalkingtoneverland.com website, there are pages, there are articles about all of these Phantom Menace premiums. The ones for Taco Bell, the ones for Pizza Hut, and for Kentucky Fried Chicken. We had laid them all out, told you how much they were, what store had what premium.
What should they search for? What are they called?
Just look for fast food
premiums.
Fast
food
food premiums.
Search that.
And search, and you'll see exactly what we're all talking about here.
Yeah, you loved cataloging all that.
Oh yes, I did. And it was so hard because there was a lot of misinformation online. It took me about 5 months just to curate what we have right there, just to make sure all the prices were correct. Looking up old commercials on YouTube and pictures of people had taken where there's a price way down in the corner. Like, oh, now I know the price.
Yeah. Well,
that's awesome. Well, if I may add up to that, is that so with these 4 posters that I designed, and I do have some copies of them. I actually have made them, uploaded them on my website, and they are available for purchase because I do have some extra. And if people are interested for a signed poster, they can request that.
Awesome. And that's the conceptzombie.com website. Okay, so Bryn is posting those in the chat, so you guys can go check it out right now.
She's also posting the fast food premiums from skywalkingtoneverland.com.
Yeah, that article.
And that's great that you're able to provide these for the fans with a signature.
Yeah.
And tell us again what that website was.
It's conceptzombie.com. It's /art gallery, because I know we haven't really talked much about this, but I'm also a gallery artist. So I do gallery work. I do fine art outside of my design work. And so I showcase in art galleries, events, and so on. So on that /art gallery is where my art and also where
Right.
Bryn had just posted that.
Yeah, we still have
link
15
too.
minutes. Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying this.
Yeah.
People now like, I want these posters. Where
I
do
know.
I go?
Oh, okay. I thought you sounded like you were gonna
Oh,
like
no,
wrap up
no.
mode. It's all good.
I figured everyone wants things here and now, like myself. Like,
Oh,
I hear
okay.
something like, I want that.
All right.
Want to know where to go.
I
But no,
understand
we
now.
still have time. Let's talk about your current projects.
Yeah, creative aid. I'm really excited to hear about this. This is something that happened because of the pandemic, right?
Yes. So, along with being a creative in the industry, creative director, an art director, designer, and being a gallery artist, I also teach. So I teach at Cal State Fullerton University, and I teach a design class. So I always say this: my job as a teacher is to teach people to do my job. That's it. Yeah, like you're the next generation of designers. You're the next generation of creatives. And so if I can share with you my experience and my passion and my love for this industry, then I've done my job. And so so I've been teaching for the last 18 years. Don't let my youthful good looks.
I thought you were 18.
And so when COVID-19 hit, I knew that that this was going to affect a lot of our small local businesses. And so I've had the fortunate career of working for big brands like Taco Bell, Lucasfilms, Hyundai, Toyota, and so on. And I knew that these brands are going to be fine during COVID-19. They're not, they're going to survive it. And so I knew that the small local businesses that we all love to visit were going to get hit. So what I did is I pivoted my class. Instead of giving my students projects to work on, like design this logo, design this brochure, instead I went to these small local businesses and started asking them, what would be helpful for you? Like what kind of marketing, what kind of design, what kind of advertising would be helpful for your small business? And people will tell me, it's like, Fernando, sometimes, I just need to let people know that I'm still open, or I just need people to know that we deliver through Grubhub or Postmates or Uber Eats. And so I would take those needs and make it into a project. Then I'll have the team work on it. We'll create content, like sometimes 4 or 5 weeks worth of social media content. Then we'll give it to these small local businesses for free.
Wow.
All free, to help them out. Yeah. So, and now since I started that in the last semester, the semester ended. And so instead of stopping it, I just folded it under my company. So I have a advertising company called Concept Zombie. That's where the website is. And so I folded creative aid under Concept Zombie. We're continuing to do that for small local businesses. And to this day, we have helped out over 15 small local businesses since March, since COVID-19 really hit.
Oh my gosh. And Bryn, why don't you post that link now in the chat? Like, you guys can go check out some of the artwork they did on the campaign. Yeah. Oh, and a video too.
Yeah. So this video is a promotion video that my company that I created and my company created. It's been circulating around the different social media platforms. A couple of publications have picked it up. So it's really starting to get traction. 2 weeks ago, we went international. We we are helping out 2 small businesses down in Guatemala. So yeah, it's I wanted to share that with everyone because it goes back to the idea of just the heroic mindset, right? It's helping out. It's not giving a handout. It's helping. It's helping a hand up.
Wow.
Awesome.
Hey, Fernando, can you spin around like a 180 degree? Spin around.
He's checking for something.
Okay, I was checking to see if you had a superhero cape on. It's probably under the jacket, right? Okay.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Wow. Well, how long is the video? We could try to play it.
Sure, absolutely. It's about 2 minutes.
Goodness.
Long,
Hold on. Sorry. Here, hold on. let's try to play this here. Give me a moment. Full screen. And is this it?
Yeah. Okay,
Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Give us a moment. Bam.
As the number of confirmed cases here in the United States is now approaching 2 million.
Never before in U.S. history has there been such a significant job loss.
Millions of people are starting to get a taste of the helpless feeling of job loss.
Situations like we're in right now happens once, twice, maybe 3 times within our life. And our first instincts tend to be, how long can I keep to myself and let this storm pass by? But instead, we should be asking the question, what can I do during this time? How can I help move all of us forward together? I teach a senior level graphic design class at Cal State Fullerton Visual Arts Department. When the quarantine happened, I knew I needed to pivot the direction of my class. Instead of giving them projects to work on, logos to design, I started reaching out to small local businesses around me and asking them, what can we do to help their business? The class and I would then create 4, 5, sometimes 6 weeks worth of social media content. We would just then give that to these businesses, all free, to help them within this time. The semester has ended. We've helped out 11 businesses, and I have decided to continue this service through my company, Concept Zombie LLC. 13 of my 25 students decided to come back and help me with this. We're continuing to reach out to small businesses, and we're going to continue to help them through this time. If you need help, reach out. We have no idea where this is going to lead us to, but we're going to go find out.
Nice. Wow.
Wow, look at that. That's fantastic.
How'd you like my
So can people take, so you have classes online. How do we sign up for your classes online? Do they have to go through Cal State Fullerton?
Well, so so if you're a student, yes, it's a Cal State Fullerton class that I started this with. But since I started it last semester, and actually have a new semester that I'm teaching that started last week, I have Creative Aid still going as a separate entity by itself now. So what's happened since then, since you've seen the video, now I don't only have some students, or some of them have graduated already. This is their first kind of taste of agency life, but I have senior level creatives that have contacted me and said, Fernando, oh my gosh, what you're doing is crazy awesome. We want to be part of it. So now I have 2 senior level copywriters, 1 senior level strategist, 2 senior level strategists, 4 videographers that have their own, like 2 of them have their own business, joining in and helping out these small local businesses being part of Creative Aid. So I'm welcoming anyone that has the time and energy and effort and creativity to help our local economy and our local businesses. So yeah, if anybody in your network that would love to be part of this, please contact me.
Yeah, and those links are once again posted in the chat by Bryn, our amazing admin. And now, before we have to go, because we only have 5 minutes, but I know you are also an artist. So you're a professor, you're an ad designer, you're an
a superhero.
Artist, you're a superhero. So, and when we initially talked about this, you have some amazing artwork that you do. And So in September, we're going to work together to auction off 5 art pieces on behalf of Make-A-Wish Greater LA. Oh, perfect. You have some here. Let me make you a presenter. All right. So briefly, and now we did talk about this on our episode of
298.
Skywalking Through Neverland, 298. So this is the actual artwork here. Oh my gosh.
This
Wow.
is
So
one
you
of them.
use actual comic books that you've had and that some people have donated to you, and you make this amazing artwork. Wow. That is so cool. And it's inspirational, right? So it's inspirational in more ways than one.
Correct.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. What I do is I take my comic books from my own collection, and some people have donated their collection to me, and I cut them up on different pieces, and I make these giant collage pattern out of them. Here's
Whoa.
another one that
Oh,
I color. And so what I do is the idea behind them is that, you know, as you all know, I'm a big fan of superheroes, and people think that superheroes aren't real. They're not. They're just characters or they're stories. But in reality, there are real life superheroes that lived among us, right? We're talking about the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s of the world, the JFKs of the world, the Bruce Lees of the world, and these amazing, extraordinary people have said some incredible, amazing things in their quotes. And so what I do is I marry the two together, and every art piece that I have within this mist of all these cool patterns, integrated in the design is a quote by a real life hero. So it's an amalgamation of, you know, of fictional superheroes from comic books with real life heroes that we all know and have grown up with. And so yeah, and so what I try to do is I showcase these in art galleries, but I also use them to be a bit more philanthropic with my efforts, and so I donate a lot of my artwork to organizations like Make-A-Wish Foundation. So
yeah.
I think you're saying, Sarah, you know, we'll have things where we'll have I'm donating artwork, and 100% of the proceeds of whoever, you know, buys the artwork or wins the bid, your proceeds will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and you get an artwork.
Yeah, we're so excited to share. So let me just show a few of those artwork, a few of your art that you've given me. Give me a moment. And you've made them out of all different interesting like materials. Whoa. I know, look at this. Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Yes.
Here.
And now, are these the ones that are going to be up for donation? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This one is called Minds, and you can kind of see
it's a
that.
3-parter.
Yeah.
Oh, very Taco Bell-ish.
Mm-hmm.
You get one, you get to complete the set by getting all 3.
Yeah. And then here's another one. Ooh, lots of fun artwork there. And on your website, there's some more pictures, right? A little bit closer up. Oh. I know, sorry, we can't see them too well, but it's really cool because like from far away, they have a design, but then you get up close and you just see a whole new perspective, which, wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will these all be superhero themed, or are there any Star Wars themed art pieces that you'll be donating?
I will have to double check on the ones I sent you to see which ones were Star Wars themed, if they are. These were the ones I've created, and I believe some of these were up in galleries that I had to take back.
Perfect.
But I have to double check.
Oh. Sorry, I did the thing I wasn't supposed to do. All right.
Boy, those just spoke to my childhood.
Wow. All right. Well, we do have to wrap it up, but Fernando, we've had an amazing time talking with you. It's been super exciting. Thank you for sharing your stories about the Taco Bell ad campaign. I mean, ever since you kind of mentioned that to me in class, been wanting to talk to you about that.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, everyone, and thanks for allowing me to share this with you. It's obvious that my love and passion and creativity, and what an amazing thing that you guys are doing, creating this platform and getting everybody to just really engage in this
Yeah,
crazy time that we're in, right? So
absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you for enjoying us, and thank you for making me want a chalupa lupa.
And everyone, just a reminder that we are donating to Make-A-Wish Greater LA. And so that you can look at the link in the chat. Bryn has just posted that. So you can either donate on the Make-A-Wish page, or you can also buy some V coin and donate at any of the Forcefest any of the fast food Forcefest panels today, right? All right. And then check out Fernando at conceptzombie.com. And episode 298 of Skywalking Through Neverland, he really delves into the history of his artwork and what inspires that, which is fascinating. So I really, recommend you guys check that out. All right. Thank you. And after we say
Thank you,
our
everyone.
outro for May the Forcefest be with you, Bryn, you can close it out. So here we go. All together. 1, 2, 3.
May the Forcefest be with you.
Forcefest.